The general election in Sierra Leone has kicked off with voters keen to pick a new president. Two parties have alternatively ruled Sierra Leone since independence from Britain in 1961. More than 3.1 million voters are registered for the polls. Polling stations opened in the early morning hours across the small West African nation. The economy is in a dire state following the 2014-2016 Ebola crisis and a commodity price slump that drove away foreign investors, making the citizens among the poorest in the world. Sierra Leone suffered a horrific 1991 to 2002 civil war, and memories of election violence from an earlier era often cause anxiety among the authorities at voting times. Isolated incidents of violence have been reported between the APC and the SLPP supporters during the month-long campaign, with minor injuries and material damage. Well, Susan Mongeli is keeping tabs on the Sierra Leonean election. She's joining me now from Freetown. Susan, just how is the voting process getting along, and what's the expected turnout?
Well, so far the voting process has been smooth. Polling centers opened at about 7 a.m. and by then, even before then, by 6 a.m. we had long queues in various polling centers. The process has been very smooth, and it seems that the civic education by the National Electoral Commission has borne fruit, because people know what is expected of them, and they've just been conducting themselves in an orderly manner. So basically, the whole process has been smooth. We are yet to find out whether Samura Kamara, he's not voting in Freetown. He should be voting much later, but he's not announced when he's going to be doing that. But we have the other two. Well, of course, we have 16 candidates, but everybody's talking about the three front runners. And in this case, one of the opposition leaders, Julius Madabia, is meant, or rather has voted. And also the other one, Yamkela, also voted at around 9:45. But just basically, the process has been smooth. Except for one incident where we had in one polling center everybody wanting to get in at a go, but that was sorted out. So there's really not much going on. The process is quite smooth.
Well, Susan, you do mention that the process is quite smooth, but of course there are bound to be challenges. Sierra Leone is one of the poorest countries in the world. So what sort of challenges are being experienced, and what are election officials doing to address them?
Well, quite honestly, the process is smooth because there's a lot at stake for this election. Remember, these elections have been previously overseen by the United Nations, and this is the first time that Sierra Leone is holding its election by itself. So it's very important that it proves to the world that, you know what, we can do this by ourselves. So all systems have been put in place to ensure that everything goes on well, and there's a lot of civic education. People were taught how to do it. The electoral clerks that we saw inside there, they really knew what to do, and they were very helpful, helping everybody to ensure that the process goes on smoothly. Something that they have done, also the authorities have done, is to ensure that there is a ban on public transport, and it's only one form of government transport that is allowed on the roads. Well, by doing this, they're saying that they're going to curb any incidents that might be happening, just to ensure that the process is running smooth. So I will tell you that there hasn't been much incidents. Of course, there's one incident, yes, in the western area, where the Electoral Commission said that a ballot box had been damaged. They sent out a statement just explaining that this had happened, and they were working towards that. But other than that, everything else has been fine.
And Susan, can you tell us more about the front runners in the presidency race?
As I earlier said, we have 16 candidates in this election, but only 3 sort of like stand a chance. But the main two parties, you know, with Sierra Leone, there's just 2 main parties that have dominated politics, and that is the ruling APC, and also we have the SLPP who have dominated. And there's almost been an unwritten rule where one leaves for the other after serving 2 terms, and the other one comes in. So that's how it has been, and a lot of people vote according to those lines. You're either either SLPP or your APC. But now with Kande Mkele, who is running with the National Congress Party, he's basically saying that National Grand Coalition Party, he's basically saying that it's about time Sierra Leone moved from that kind of politics and really vote on issues. And he's coming in on the platform of change and saying, you know what, we need to change this. And he's been gaining a lot of popularity, especially in urban provinces, in the urban areas of this provinces. He's been getting a lot of traction there. So it is unlikely, well, according to experts, it is unlikely that there will be an outright winner. So it is possible that this country would be going for a runoff much later, but we can only determine that much later. As for voter turnout, it is expected that there will be about 80% voter turnout as it was in 2012. But then again, it's still too early. We have to wait until the whole process is completed much later at 5 p.m. For the officials to give out the official figures about that.
All right, Susan Mwangeli joining us there from Freetown.